So what's interesting about communicating change is so when we're talking about conversation intelligence, it's very easy. I'm sure a lot of you listening today can relate to the concept of changes in policies, procedures, pricing, service. But you know what, when it really comes down to it, it's changing in expectations. And more importantly, knowing how to communicate your expectations to people. And I'll give you a perfect example, Ted. I was working with a client this week, and the person said to me, here's a challenge I'm having. I'm having a challenge with employee engagement in meetings. I don't feel like my employees are really engaged in the meetings. So I said, okay, that's fine. My first question, Ted, was, what do you want them to do that they're not doing? Right. Okay? And he said, well, I ask them updates on projects or tasks they're working on. I want them to give me an update. I want them to tell me if they're having any issues with it, if they anticipate any delays. I just want them to give me an overall update. I said, boy, that seems really reasonable. And so he said, right. And I said, no. I said, so here's what I see the problem is. Number one, have you actually assumed they realize what you want them to tell you? Or have you actually done either one of two things? Have you actually modeled for them and say, look, let me give you an update on something I'm working on. Let me share with you the kinds of things. This is what I would like to hear from you. One. Or two, have you actually created a process and said to them, hey, in the future when you come to these meetings, can you be prepared to discuss the following criteria related to your project? And so I said, you don't have a problem necessarily with employee engagement in a meeting. You have a problem with setting expectations and making it clear what you want and need.